Welcome to AminAcademy.com. Let us discuss the first Ottoman Empire, that is first century of Ottoman Empire. The first century of existence was their heroic age, living largely in the saddle as leaders of the Gazis. The founder of the dynasty were no more than commanders of Turkish tribes organized primarily to raid and conquer the infidel territory around them. With the collapse of Byzantium resistance, the Ottomans found it far easier to expand in western Anatolia and across the Dardanelles into southeastern Europe than to move against their more powerful Muslim and Turkish neighbors. Advancing rapidly through Thrace and Macedonia, the Ottoman took much of Bulgaria, northern Greece, Bosnia, and Serbia as far as the Danube, developing a system of rule by which the native Christian princes related their possessions and lands in return for acknowledging Ottoman suzerainty and providing soldiers and money. The Ottoman were successful at this time because as Gazis fighting the infidel, they attracted into their service thousands of nomads fleeing into Anatolia from the Mongols. The early Ottoman leaders also were members and sometimes leaders of the urban Ahi Brotherhood that are organized so as to bring help and relief to the people when the defense of the centralized state failed. The first Ottoman Empire was then based on both religious and economical motives. Its followers sought to extend the dominion of Islam and their secure beauty. But then the last ruler of the period tried to use the wealth and power gained by European conquest to capture the Turkish and Muslim East. He brought on himself and his state the onslaught of a new nomadic horse led by Tamerlane, who defeated the Ottoman army, broke up the empire, and reduced the Ottoman to equal status with other restored Turkmen principalities. The Ottoman origin and the age of the Gazis in 1250 to 1389. The rise of the Ottomans was closely connected with events in the Principality of the Western Emir of the Marches, which faced Byzantium from its capital at Kastamonu. Beginning 1284, it was ruled by Yavlak Arslan, son of the Seljuk minister Isamuddin Koban, from whose name the principality came to be called that of the sons of Koban. The problem of Ottoman origin has preoccupied students of history, but because of both the absence of contemporary source material and conflicting accounts written subsequent to the event, there seems to be no basis for definitive statement. Now we'll talk about Osman I, the Emperor Osman I. Osman's contributions seems to have been limited to establishing the dynasty and beginning the policy of developing it primarily at Byzantine expense while avoiding conflict with the more powerful Turkmen neighbors until the state was strong enough to deal with them. His initial advances were through the passes leading from the barren areas of northern Phrygia near Dorialium to the more fertile plains of Bithynia and against the Christian feudatories to the north. The capture of Bursa was an important step forward for the Ottomans. Their dominion changed from nomadic border principality to a real state with a capital boundaries and settled population and with the means to develop a regular army to define and expand the state as well as an administration to rule it. Next one, Orhan Gazi. The basic Ottoman policy of conquest as developed by Osman, with the Ottoman acting both as emirs of the marches, leading the Ghazi Turkmans against the infidels, and as agents of the Ahi Guides to restore political unity and order to Anatolia, remained unchanged under his success in the 14th century. After Osman's death, Orhan's succession was confirmed by the Ahis, while continued attacks on the infidels assured the support of Gazis. In the newly conquered areas, Orhan created in turn endowments Waqif to finance the support of activities of the Ahi brotherhoods as well as Sufi mystic orders, which encouraged the nomads to accept Ottoman's leadership. Orhan institutionalized the policies of conquest begun by his father, emphasizing expansion against the infidel, avoiding hostilities against his more powerful Muslim Turkmen neighbors, and limiting expansions in their territories to that which could be gained by peaceful means. Orhan's army and government at this time were led and staffed mainly by members of the leading Anatolian Turkmen families who, like their Gazis followers, served the Ottomans to secure fame and beauty through conquest in the lands of the infidel. Shortly after his accession, Orhan moved towards the Sea of Marmara. This led to a major Byzantine expedition personally commanded by Emperor Andronicus III, but it was routed at Maltese in 1328. During the next 26 years, Orhan occupied most of the remaining Byzantine lands in northeast western Anatolia with little difficulty, climaxing his efforts by taking the trade center of Izmit in 1337 after a 6 years siege on Uskudar a year later. Orhan also strengthened his position by securing Umur Khan's territory around Goynuk on the Sea of Marmara, as well as the Empire Principality of Khorasan to the west, taking advantage of internal divisions, allying with the one factions and then the other, and receiving land from each party as a reward. Next, Murad I. With Orhan's eldest son, Sulaiman, preceding him in death, succession fell to his second son, Murad, who earlier had replaced his brother in command of the Ottoman forces in Europe. Murad used the base left by his father in Gallipoli to conquer Thrace, Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Serbia. Actually, therefore, he was the real builder of the first Ottoman Empire in Europe. The situation here was quite favorable to further Ottoman expansion. Now we'll discuss further short details about Ottoman Empire and first Ottoman Empire. We will revise the things. The Ottoman Empire was founded by Osman I, a Turkish tribal leader, in 1299. Osman I, whose name was Uthman in Arabic, led a series of raids against the Seljuk dynasty, which was weakened by Mongol invasion. Osman's successors expanded the empire into the Balkans, Egypt, North Africa, the Caucasus, and Anatolia. Capital. In 1453, Mahmud II, the conqueror, captured the Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and renamed it Istanbul. Istanbul became the new capital of the Ottoman Empire and major center of trade and culture. Under Sultan Sulaiman the Magnificent, that is 1522 1566, the Ottoman Empire reached its peak of power, prosperity, and political development. Decline. The Ottoman Empire declined in the 17th century, losing much of the territory and becoming subservient to European powers. The Sultanate was abolished in 1922, ending the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was multi-ethnic and multi-religious, but Islam played a big part in the empire. The empire granted varying a level of autonomy to its many confessional communities or millets to manage their own affairs per Islamic law. Ottoman's origin and the age of Gazis. The Ottoman Empire was founded by Osman Gazi, a Turkish tribal leader known as a Ghazi, and was called the Empire of the Gazis. First is Osman Gazi, already we thought about, then further we'll do this one. The founder of the Ottoman Empire, Osman Gazi, was a Turkish tribal leader who reigned from 1299 to 1324. He led a series of raids against the declining Seljuk dynasty, taking advantages of their weakened state. The Gazis. The term Ghazi refers to Turkic warriors who were dedicated to fight for Islam. Expansion. The Ottoman Empire expanded under the leadership of Osman Gazi and his successors, eventually controlling much of southeastern Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. The empire's peak. At its peak, the Ottoman Empire stretched from the northern Hungary to southern Arabia and from the Crimea across North Africa almost to the Atlantic Ocean. The empire's end. The Ottoman Empire survived until 1222 when the rest of the region turned to Turkey. Now, little note about Osman I was the founder of the Ottoman Empire. As the leader of August Turkic tribe, he waged war against both the Byzantine Empire and rival Turkey in northwest Anatolia. He defeated the Byzantians in key battles and conquered several key cities in the region. Osman founded the House of Osman, a royal dynasty continued by his children who would come to conquer a vast empire. Osman has been given the title of Ghazi, meaning a raider or holy warrior. He lived roughly between years of 1258 to 1326 through historical today are not exactly sure. Historians today are not exactly sure that those dates. Orhan, we talked about further. Orhan, born 1288, died 1360, was the second ruler of the Ottoman dynasty, which had been founded by his father Osman I. Orhan's reign from 1324 to 1360 marked the beginning of Ottoman expansion into Balkans. Under Orhan's leadership, the small Ottoman principality in northwestern Anatolia continued to tracked Gazis, warriors of the Islamic faith from the surrounding Turkish emirates fighting against Byzantium. In 1324, the Byzantine town of Brusa, later it becomes Bursa, fell to the Ottomans, followed by Nicaea, modern Iznik, in 1331, and Nicomedia, modern Izmit, in 1337. Next, Murad I. What did Murad I do for the Ottoman Empire? The Murad widened the Ottoman hold on European territory, the conquering Macedonias and making Adrianople his residence. In 1373, he forced the Byzantine Empire to pay tribute. Murad began the policy of compelling Christian youth to join the army corps known as the Janissaries. So far, we discussed about first Ottoman empires, first Ottoman emperors, and first century onward. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.